Hello and welcome to our Master of Science in Rehabilitation Science webinar at Concordia University, Wisconsin. We're so glad you're taking the time to be here, and we're so glad if you're watching this at a later time that you decided to watch this and you have interest in the program. We're going to introduce ourselves. We're going to go over the Concordia University details. Dr. Cope is going to go in depth into all those program details. I'll talk to you about the application process, and then at the end, we'll have a question and answer. So some of you already know him. This is Dr. Stephen Cope. He's our chairperson for our Department of Rehabilitation Science and the director of the MSRS program. Dr. Cope?
Yeah, thank you, Katie, and welcome to those of you who are here. It's a real pleasure to be able to share with you some information about our MSRS program and hopefully get you excited about coming to Concordia University. So yes, I look forward to sharing that information and then answering any questions that you might have when we get to the end.
Fabulous. And my name is Katie Novinsky, and I'm the International Student Recruiter and Admissions Counselor for this program. So I'm the one that'll help you through the application process before you come to Concordia. Dr. Cope is going to talk about our mission statement for the program.
Yeah, thanks, Katie. Yeah, the mission of the Master of Science in Rehabilitation Science is intended to help you see what the focus is. What's the main purpose of this degree? And as it says here, is that this is for international students. There are no students from the US who come to our program. So it's to provide internationally trained physical and or occupational therapists with an evidence-based and clinically focused curriculum. That part there is very important to say that we value evidence-based practice as one of our core foundations for this degree, and some of you may know what that means already because if you've had my class, you know what we're talking about there. But the other part, the clinically focused, is actually a really important part of this degree, and I'll talk more about this a little bit later when we talk about the curriculum. But the idea that more than half of this degree includes courses that are clinically focused, and so you would take 5 different classes that are intended to give you some advanced information, some knowledge, some skills, and the opportunity to get out into practice areas in the US and see how we do that here. So those are the main ideas, and I'll stop there and we'll move forward, and I'll go into some more detail later.
Wonderful. Thank you, Dr. Cope. A little bit about Concordia University. There's a picture of our beautiful campus right on the shores of Lake Michigan. Yes, that's real. That's where we are. It's absolutely gorgeous. I love coming to work every day. We have about 8,000 students in total, and we have a very large international student population. We have about 750, which is the 4th largest international student population in Wisconsin, which is wonderful. So as an international student, you will not be the only international student on campus. There'll be plenty of other international students with you. Even though we have so many international students, we pride ourselves on keeping our classes small. So there's a small student to faculty ratio, about 12:1. And the average class size is around 16. So this is a school where your professors will know your name and they'll know who you are, and they'll be so happy to have you in that class. We're also accredited by the Higher Learning Commission. And here's where we're located, another beautiful picture of campus. We're in Mequon, Wisconsin, which is about 20 minutes north of Milwaukee and about 90 minutes north of Chicago. So here's where Concordia University, Wisconsin is, not too far from Milwaukee and an hour and a half from Chicago, right on Lake Michigan in the Midwest in the United States of America, right in the middle. And Dr. Cope will tell us about our curriculum.
All right. So let's get into some of the details of what you're getting yourself into if you come to Concordia and you do the MSRS program. The program starts in the fall, and it runs for 3 semesters. So fall, spring, and you finish in the summer. There are 32 total credits. That's 4 credit courses. So there are 8 different courses. You'll have 3 courses or 12 credits in the fall, another 3 courses in the spring, and only 2 courses in the summer. So you don't need to worry about being a full-time student in the summer. That actually is full-time status here at Concordia University. So 8 credits is just fine. And the other thing that's, I think, important for you to know is that all of the courses that we offer here are in a face-to-face format. We certainly use our learning management system, Blackboard, to launch all our courses, but everything that you do here will be in with a faculty and other students from around the world taking courses with you. Yeah, all right. So this slide shows far more detail, and I know it's a lot to look at, but what I'm showing you here are those 8 courses. And I think what I would like to help to try to simplify this a little bit is to point out that among these 8 courses, 3 of them have to do with research, and 5 of them have to do with the clinical aspect of the program that I talked about earlier. So we have a research piece and a clinical piece. Those are the 2 main thrusts with this degree. And so if you look at this list here, the very first 2, MSRS 505 and MSRS 515, both have to do with research. The first one, scientific writing, we will help you become expert in a particular sort of writing style known as the APA, or American Psychological Association. There are other writing styles, but that's the one that is commonly used in rehabilitation. So we will teach that to you, and then begin the process of learning to write in a scientific sort of way. So as part of this program, you will do a research project, and you will need to be able to write in a scientific sort of manner and potentially publish what you do. So first part of that 505 class is going to be focused on writing and just the basics of that in a scientific way. But then the other part of that class is you will begin actually working on your writing by writing a proposal for your research study. So we will develop ideas, and you will begin to do some research and start to formulate an introduction, a background, and a literature review section to your paper. And that's really the best way. You're learning to write for a real purpose. It's not just assignments to learn how to write. This has got a real meaning and purpose to it. So you'll take that class in all of fall semester. The other class next to it there, MSRS 515, is called Evidence-Based Practice in Rehabilitation. And it is a class that is focused on, really, if you think about it, the next steps in your research project here is you're going to need to write a methods section. You're going to need to write a results section. So to write a methods, you need to know something about research methodology. And while Amber, if you had my RSC 205 class, you know a little bit about that, but this course goes into far more depth about different kinds of research methodologies. And then we also take quite a bit more in time to work on different statistical methods. So the methods part will be for you to understand how to write your methodology. And then the statistics part will be so that you will have some independence in your ability to manage the data once you collect it in the spring semester and actually do your own statistics. The final piece of that class, MSRS 505, is more on the flip side of helping you understand the importance of being a consumer. And that's actually going to be threaded into the clinical courses. So we believe that being an evidence-based practitioner is a core value and important. So the ability to be able to find information quickly using the databases, consume that information, and then use it to make decisions for your patients is very important. So we will take what we did in RSC 205 to another level in terms of evidence-based practice as well. And then if you just jump down a few classes to the MSRS 650, the research project, that's in spring semester. And that's actually then where you will carry out your research project. You will have to get approval from the Institutional Review Board or our ethics board, so you can recruit participants and collect the data. But then you will have your data, you will analyze it, you will write it up into results and a discussion, and then you'll have the opportunity to write it into a full manuscript, potentially submit it for publication. And you will also prepare it in the form of a scientific poster and present that on campus at the end of spring semester. So I know I've gone on here a lot about the research component of the degree, but like any master's degree, that's an important part. So we will have that. And then the other classes, as you can see there, include a pediatrics course, an adult neurologic course, adult orthopedic, industrial rehabilitation, and gerontologic conditions. Those are the 5 different clinical courses that you will get. And then, as I said earlier, you will have the opportunity to take what you already know because you've had some schooling on these topics already and bring your knowledge and your skills to a higher level and be with other students from other countries, and you will have that chance to share your information and they will share theirs, and hopefully you'll come away with a much broader foundation for practice when you go back to your country, in your case, China. And one final thought here about those 5 clinical courses is that in addition to doing things in the classroom and lab activities, we will do our best to get you off campus and get you into different clinical environments so you can actually see how we in the US actually how clinics actually operate in those particular environments. I mean, the industrial rehabilitation class is a really interesting topic. And the clinic is not so much a clinic, it's out into an industrial setting. So you may actually end up going to a place and analyzing a workspace. And that's what at least part of industrial rehabilitation is about. So I hope that maybe not too much information, but enough to get you excited about the curriculum and the kinds of things that you'll do when you come here. All right, Katie, we can go on. So just a few details about the program and things to keep in mind. And you'll hear this again when you come, but it's important that you maintain a certain GPA. So for our master's program and any master's program at Concordia University, you have to maintain a 3.0 GPA in order to graduate. You may get a class below a C, but then you're going to have to get another class with an A to compensate to make sure you maintain a 3.0 GPA. This program will be done in 1 year. If necessary, if you needed to take a class over again, that we could work on that. We could talk about how we could do that, but most of the students finish it in 1 year. This last bullet point is that important for me to just reiterate what I said earlier, that the student population that we're really intending for this degree are those people who have a bachelor's degree in either physical or occupational therapy from another country, or a related degree in rehabilitation science, which of course includes students from China. So we're excited to have students from China join us because you have an appropriate degree and background and clinical experience, hopefully, at least through your internship, that this is a great opportunity for you. All right, next slide. Yeah. The other thing that I think we feel is important to point out is that for students who are in the MSRS program, you will be in a cohort of students that's relatively small. And so you will not fall between the cracks, so to speak, or you will not be missed out. You will meet with an advisor, which is one of our faculty, at least once per semester, and that's just routine advising. But just we want you to know that we are here to work with the students in this program as often as is needed to answer any questions you might have. Make sure that if there's any bumps in the road while you're in the program, we will work with you. We have an office on campus that provides a lot of different resources for students who may have some difficulty at some course somewhere along the way. So I think we want students to know that we will provide as many resources and work with you very closely so that we can ensure that you'll make it through the program and not just that, but really enjoy it. All right.
All right. Thank you, Dr. Cope. Next, we're going to talk about the application requirements. So the application form itself is free, and you go to www.cuw.edu/apply. And the form itself does not actually take a really long time to fill out, probably 10-15 minutes to fill out. You'll fill out a graduate application, put in just your pertinent information that it'll ask you. And what's going to take a little longer is gathering all the documents required for the application. So we'll need your unofficial undergraduate transcripts. A scanned copy is fine. We'll collect the official transcripts when you come to us in the fall, hopefully. We need a copy of your passport. Make sure it's valid. We need financial documents showing you can cover the costs of the program, and I can talk more about that later. We need a resume or curriculum vitae, 2 letters of recommendation, a statement of purpose or essay on why you would like to pursue this particular degree, and proof of English language proficiency. There's a few options for tests. The TOEFL is 79 or higher, IELTS 6.5 or higher, PTE, the Pearson is 60 or higher, or Duolingo is 100 or higher, and Duolingo is the easiest to schedule, just so you know. I recommend you to take that one if you're not sure which test to take for English proficiency.
Can I add a comment here, Katie?
Yes, please.
One of the things that we have a unique relationship with Tsinghua University in China, and so students who have come to the US for their junior year in the dual degree program, they do not have to meet the English proficiency standard.
Thank you so much for pointing that out. That is really good to say. So if you did the Tsinghua program and you came to the US for a year, that proficiency, English proficiency requirement will be waived for you. If it's not waived automatically, you can always just email me and I can go ahead into your application and waive that to make sure you have that can be waived for you. Absolutely. I'm here to help if you need that. Thank you, Dr. Cope, for pointing that out. After you apply, once you submit all those documents, allow 1 to 2 months to hear from us. Honestly, it'll probably be faster. We just like to give ourselves a little space for holidays, and sometimes we have a large influx of applications at the same time. If you're concerned about your application, want to make sure everything looks good, you can always just email me and I can check on it and see where you are in the process. Once you've finished your application, then Dr. Cope will make an acceptance decision. If you meet the requirements, he will say yes or no to coming to the program. And if you are accepted, then you can pay your non-refundable tuition deposit of $300, and this will go directly towards your tuition. It's not an additional fee, but that will trigger us to then invite you into our Teradata student hub. And this is for international students so that we can start processing your I-20 paperwork to receive your F1 visa. Once you get that, once you receive the invitation, you'll request your I-20 in Teradata. And then we'll issue your I-20 and you can pay that CVIS fee for immigration. That's to the US government. And then you can apply for your F1 student visa. And you'll most likely have to go into the embassy and have an interview to get your F1 student visa. So right now, we are absolutely accepting applications for our fall 2024 cohort. It's a great time to apply now because that now will give you enough time to go through the process, the application process, and the visa and immigration process. But if you have questions about the program, you can always contact Dr. Stephen Cope, and his email is seen right there. And if you have any questions about the application process, please feel free to reach out to me at Catherine Nowinski at cuw.edu. You can see my email there. I am really happy to help you through this process. I know there's some questions come up along the way. Some things might be confusing. I am here to be your guide to get you to the program so you can study this amazing topic with Dr. Cope. And now we're going to pause and take time for your questions for the people who are here.
And stop recording too, Katie?
Yes.